Spider group. Spider belongs to class Arachnida phylum, Arthropoda kingdom, Animalia. Arachnida bodies are segmented with well-developed heads and hard external skeletons. They have a pair of pincer claws and 4 pairs of legs, all attached to the cephalothorax. Lifespan. Spider lives up to 1 year. Tarantula lives up to 15 years. Body of animals belonging to class Arachnida consist of 2 parts. 1. Front part, head and chest closely joined forming cephalothorax. 2. Back, the abdomen. Class Arachnida is divided into 3 types. 1. Acaridae, mites. 2. Aranidae, spiders. 3. Scorpoidae, scorpions. Classification. Aranomorphae, dipneumones. 1. 1 pair of lungs. 2. They spin cobwebs in the air. 3. The poison glands and ducts are elongated and the claws move horizontally like drill pin, e.g. Tarantula hispanica mygalomorphae, tetrapneumones. 1. 2 pairs of lungs. 2. Many camouflage the hole with a twig or a leaf of the tree like a mousetrap mechanism. Always live in funnels and tubular holes in the ground. 3. They have short glands and ducts and their fangs move vertically, e.g. mygale, Tarantula cubensis. Greek mythology. In ancient Greece there lived a woman called Arachne who was famous for her skill in weaving. Her art skills made her very conceited, thinking that there was none better than her. She challenged the goddess Athene to a weaving contest. Arachne's effort was very beautiful and it aroused jealousy, and Athene was felt threatened by Arachne. Athene was the goddess of all weaving. In her fit of rage she tore Arachne's wearing to pieces. Arachne was very upset and she hung herself, whereupon Athene changed her into a spider and condemned her to go on weaving forever. Hence, the name Arachnida, which really means, children of Arachne. Spider poison. Poisons are one of the defensive mechanisms exhibited by animals. When spiders bite, they paralyze their victims with poison secreted from gland in their jaws. The venom are poisonous to such an animal like mouse, sparrow, but only a few poisonous to human. It poisons the blood. The poison decomposes the blood. It has paralyzing action on nerves and irritates the peripheral nerves. Pathophysiological changes. Severe pain and burning sensation in extremities, lumbar region and severe backache. Increased or decreased arterial pressure is seen. Skin. Cutaneous and mucosal findings, rosellis, vesicular papule. Pustular rashes on body with intense itching. GI findings, acute abdominal pain with rigidity of abdominal muscle. Urinary findings, moderate albuminuria and hematuria. C. N. S. findings, frequent psychomotor excitation, occasional delirium, rarely meningeal symptoms with contraction of extremities, paralysis of facial muscles and widening of pupils. Blood findings, moderate leukocytosis with raised T. S. R. increased neutrophil count. Doctrine of signature. 1. Spider has 8 legs surrounding the whole body and in constant motion. The patients are always restless. 2. The spider captures its prey in a very cunning and deceptively woven web. The patients are cunning and deceptive in their behavior. 3. The action of the poison of the spider is very violent. The complaints of the patients are also violent. 4. The male spider is known to dance during the mating season to attract the females. The patient desires to dance, which relieves his complaints. Remedies. 1. Aranea diadem, spider papal cross. 2. Aranea scientia, gray spider. 3. Tarantula hispanica, Spanish spider. 4. Tarantula cubensis, Cuban spider. 5. Theridion curasavicum, West Indian orange spider. 6. Latrodactys mactans, American black widow. 7. Latrodactys hesselti, New South Wales spider 8. Latrodactys capello New Zealand spider 9. Mygale lasiodora. Black Cuban spider 10. Tela arnerum. Spiders spider web. Characteristics: constitution, restless and nervous hypersensitive people, suited for those who are quick and agile, having colorful personalities, people with artistic traits and very active, miasm, tubercular and syphilitic temperament, restless, nervous and irritable, diathesis, tubercular thermal relationship, chilly, very sensitive to cold. Ailments from noise, motion, grief, stooping, closing eyes, sound, riding, washing, sea traveling, fright, sepsis, disappointed love. Periodicity. Produce marked periodicity of complaints, intermittent. Tarantula hispanica. Complaints recur at the same period annually or at the same hour every day or every other day. Tarantula cubensis. Intermittent fever. Aggravated evening troubles occur at the same hour every day. Aranea diadema chill occurring at same hour every day or every other day. Aranerum tela. Periodical disease in broken down persons. Periodic headache with extreme nervous erythrism and obstinate intermittent. Side affinity. Left. Theridion Tarantula cubensis Latrodactys mactans Latrodactys calipo Tarantula hispanica. Symptoms alternate to right and then to back right. Arinea diadema, right trifascia, Mygale lassi. Chilliness. Almost all spider remedies are chilly. Arinea diadema, great sensitiveness to cold or damp air. Extreme chilliness, chill as if bones are made of ice. Coldness with pain in long bones, any amount of covering gives no warmth. Aranerum tela obstinate and continuous chillness with intermittent fever. Latrodactys mactans chilliness with icy coldness of extremities, skin icy cold like marble even in fever. Tarantula hispanica. Chilly yet desire for and is ameliorated in open air. Exception. Aranea schienensia. Intolerance of warm weather. All symptoms are aggravated in warm weather. Indolence, weakness and prostration. Latrodactys mactans. Severe prostration, but patient cannot lie still due to restlessness. Tarantula cubensis. Easy and persistent prostration in septic conditions and diphtheria. Sexual complaints. Increased desire. Nymphomania and chordate. Tarantula hispanica. Nymphomania and increased desire in both sexes. Mygale violent painful erection and chordate. Theridion. Sexual desire decreased, weak erection during coition, hysteria during puberty and climacterics. Latrodactys catpo itching of prepuce. Angina pectoris. Latrodactys mactans. Violent pains in chest radiating to neck and shoulders and to left arm and fingers. Screams with pains as if he will lose his breath and die. Tarantula hispanica. Angina pectoris ameliorated in open air. Constrictive feeling in chest. Chorea and convulsions. Mygale lasiodora twitching of facial muscles with hot and flushed face. Constant motion of whole body. Uncontrollable movements of hands and legs which stops only during sleep. Tarantula hispanica. Violent involuntary movements of different parts of body. Chorea of right arm and left leg. Tarantula cubensis. Left-sided chorea. Lymphangitis. Latrodactys hassali. Malignant conditions with pneumonia. Great edema of the neighborhood of wound. Latrodactys calipo affected area is scarlet red with stinging and burning pains. Mygale. Redness along the course of lymphatic. Local inflammation from foot to knee leaving large violet spot which changed high a few hours to green, red to blue. Discoloration along the course of lymphatics. Tarantula hispanica affects the lymphatic leading to congestion, cellulitis and lymphadenitis. Sleep disorders. Almost all spiders disturb sleep except Aranea schienensia and Araneum tela which has very much disposition to sleep. Aranea diadema. Restlessness and frequent waking with sensation of enlargement and heaviness, as if arms and hands were swollen. Latrodactyl SLT, sleeplessness in malignant septic conditions. Tarantula cubensis, sleep prevented by harsh cough. Tarantula hispanica, sleeplessness awakens with weeping. Theridion, late sleep in morning, bites tongue in sleep. Palpitation. Almost all spiders produces rapidity of pulse rate. Theridion, rapid pulse in morning. Mygale, palpitation and rapid pulse. Latrodactys mactans, very rapid pulse, 130 to 140 per minute, too rapid to count and too thready to be felt, especially in angina. Tarantula hispanica, trembling and tremulousness of hearts from a bad news. Pulse hard and irregular. Exception, Araneum tea, reduces pulse rate. Latrodactys catapo, almost pulseless, very slow, about 12 to 14 per minute. Fear, apprehension and anxiety. Almost all spiders have great fear of death. Latrodactys mactans, extreme anxiety, fear of death, especially in angina. Latrodactys calipo, anxious and extreme pallor. Mygale, fear of death. Theridion, despondent, want of self-confidence, great inclination to be startled. Tarantula hispanica, fear when outside her usual surroundings, fear of death and of impending calamity. Aranea diadema, fear of death. Restlessness. Taran, hisp, never sits at one place, always in motion, although motion does not relieve. Latrodactys mactan, restlessness and prostration with angina pectoris. Mygale, restlessness, constant motion of hands and feet. Tarantula cub, restless feet. Theridion, restless, busy starts, desire to occupy himself. Nervous symptoms. Aranea dyad, numbness of parts supplied by ulnar nerve. Aranea schienensia, constant twitching of tower eyelids. Araneum tella, numbness of hands and legs. Latrodactys catapo, twitching of muscles, nervous twitching all over with spasm of masseter muscles. Tarantula hispanica, twitching of muscles, nerves, highly strung, restless and hyperesthesia of skin, eye and fingertips. Theridion, hypersensitiveness, every shrill sound penetrates the whole body, especially teeth. Mygale, twitching and contraction of fascia. Septic conditions. Tarantula cuben, malignant septic conditions, carbuncles, boils, anthrax, abscess, etc. with atrocious burning pains, a good remedy for plague. Tarantula hispanica, septic states with pain and pemia. Intercostals, neuralgia. Aranea diadema, severe intractable pains along nerves. Aggravated damp weather and has marked periodicity. Theridion, pain in upper part of chest and apex of right lung with tendency to phthisis. Depression and sadness. Tarantula hispanica, depression with prostration, melancholy with quick change of mood and becomes cheerful, longs for death. Mygale, sad alternate day, depressed with anxious expression. Theridion, depression with headache and weeping. Latrodactys catapo, nervous depression, irritability, anger and excitement. Tarantula hispanica, irritable and anger from contradiction. Mygale, excitement about business. Theridion, excitement aggravated at night. Latrodactys mactans, screams with excitement. Bones, caries and necrosis. Theridion, caries and necrosis of bones, pain in all bones as if broken. Aranea diadema, pain in tendochills, periostitis of oscalcis, necrosis and bones, feels as if made of ice. Hemorrhagic tendency. Aranea diadema, hemoptysis in anemic subjects, hemorrhage from uterus and lungs. Latrodactys mactans, hemorrhage, black blood, non-coagulable. Dreams. 1. Tarantula hispanica, animals, business, danger, dead bodies, insults, abused, misfortune, accidents, disaster, events, unfortunate, loss, pleasant, joyous, peaceful, quiet, wonderful. 2. Theridion, disease, teeth breaking off, horse riding, journeys, difficulties, foreign country. 3. Mygale, absurd, strange, ridiculous. 4. Aranea diadema, frightful, anxious. Clinical conditions. anthrax, abscess, carbuncles, chorea, epilepsy, fever, felon, gangrene, hysteria, multiple sclerosis, nymphomania, Meniere's disease, paralysis, agitans, pruritus, vulvae, septic fever, spinal irritation, tabes dorsalis, ulcers, vertigo, arynia, diadema, periodicity, coldness and great susceptibility to dampness, malarial poisoning, where every damp day or place favors chilliness. Patient feels cold to the very bones, coldness not relieved by anything, feeling as if parts were enlarged and heavier. Wake up at night with hands feeling twice their natural size, spleen swollen, hydrogenoid constitution, i.e., abnormal sensitiveness to damp and cold, inability to live near fresh water, lakes, rivers, etc., or in damp, chilly places, natrum sulphuricum. Thuja. Head. Pain in right traphacial nerve from periphery inwards. Confusion, better by smoking in open air. Heat and flickering in eyes. Worse in damp weather. Sudden violent pain in teeth at night immediately after lying down. Female. Menses too early, too copious. Distension of abdomen. Lumbo-abdominal neuralgia. Chest. Pain in intercostal nerve from nerve endings to spine. Bright red hemorrhage from lungs, millefolium, ferrum phoshoricum, stomach, cramps after eating a little, epigastrium painful to pressure. Abdomen, enlarged spleen, colic returns same hours, heaviness in lower abdomen, as of a stone. Sleep, restless and waking, as if hands and forearms were swollen and heavy. Fever, coldness, with pain in long bones, and feeling of stone in abdomen at the same hour daily. Chilly day and night, always worse during rain. Modalities, worse, damp weather, late in afternoon, and at midnight, better, smoking tobacco. Arynia schienensia, clinical, debility, headache, constant twitching of under eyelids, eyes inflamed, weak, watery, lids swollen, profuse flow of saliva, sweet taste in mouth, much dull, stupid headache of considerable intensity, especially in posterior-superior part of head, unable to rest for it, could not collect thoughts with it, felt as if he had been drinking, sleepiness, all symptoms aggravation in warm room. Latrodactys mictans, the bite produces tetanic effects, last for several days. A picture of angina pectoris is presented by the action of the drug. Constriction of chest muscles, with radiation to shoulders and back. Lowered coagulability. Relationship, compare. Latrodactys hasseltii, chronic, blood poisoning. Arrests intense pain in pyemia. Arina, mygale, therodion. Latrodactys calipo, lymphangitis and nervous twitching, scarlet burning eruption, triatma kissing bug, swelling with violent itching of fingers and toes, smothering sensation and difficult breathing succeeded by fainting and rapid pulse. Head. Pain in neck to back of head, occipital pain, screams with pain and anxiety, respiratory, extreme apnea, gasping respiration, fears losing breath, violent, precordial pain extending to the axilla and down the arm and forearm to fingers, with numbness of the extremity, pulse feeble and rapid, extremities, pain in left arm, feels paralyzed, weakness of legs followed by cramps in the abdominal muscles, paresthesia of lower limbs, skin, coldness of whole surface, skin cold as marble. Latrodactys catapo, the seat of a bite becomes immediately painful and swelling occurs, does not come on until some days after the bite. After the bite, a scarlet papulous rash appeared on both extremities, burning like fire. Lassitude, faintness, twitching, trismus were noted. The symptoms were slow in evolution. In a fatal case, that of a girl bitten on the abdomen, death did not occur until 6 weeks after the bite. Face. Extreme pallor changing to blue tint, of face and body, jaws stiff very soon, could not open mouth to eat. Mind, delirium, half smothered by imperfect intoxication, nervous depression with anxious expression, lower limbs, severe shaking, burning pains ran from the bite on the foot up the limbs to back, accompanied by nervous twitching all over body soon. Pain felt almost equally in both limbs, and seemed to center about heel. Feet felt as if rudely lacerated by dull instrument, waking him from sleep, immediately, nervous twitching all over body. Heart, almost pulseless, pulse slow, scarcely more than 12 or 14 beats to the minute, respirations almost ceased, skin, small, red spot like flea bite, bitten surface raised white with red halo, with pain ameliorated by spirits of ammonia and swelling, remained a small purple point for 9 days, on the 10th began to swell and turn white like a bee sting, pain and swelling rapidly increased, a bright scarlet, papular eruption on both lower limbs, which stung and burned like fire, fever, extremities cold and flaccid, a cold, clammy sweat-covered lower extremity, in morning sweat covered both limbs. Tarantula hispanica. It belongs to the tubercular miasm. Tarantula is industrious, busy, has high energy, and a love for music, dancing and colors. They wear bright colored clothes, singing and dancing, as in a discotheque to be attracted. Tarantula patient is compelled to be busy, to act, to move constantly without ceasing. Occupations, such as air traffic controllers or news journalists confronted with deadlines with great pressure and responsibility. Mind. There is also the fear of being assaulted, injured, and of getting trapped. Attacks of suffocation, must have fresh air. Feeling of unreciprocated love or affection. The person has the feeling that he is not attractive enough and therefore does not get the attention he craves for. The situation of tarantula is that of a person who wants to be noticed but is not, such as could happen when a person tries unsuccessfully to attract the attention of another, especially from the opposite sex. This is not a situation of disappointed love, but one of unrequited love. Fatigue, ill effects of unrequited love. The kind of music that tarantula likes is hard, fast and rhythmic. Young sepia can often seem like tarantula. Contradiction of will found in sepia. Compelled to work day and night without sleep for weeks. Nux vomica, which is driven by a mental ambition and competitiveness. Tarantula is driven by the nervous tension, compulsion to move and to keep busy, the most hurried of all the remedies. Tarantula and sulfuric acid patient will spend the whole night tossing and turning in bed until he finds himself with his head at the foot of the bed and the sheets tied in knots. Restlessness and nervous tension affects primarily the nervous system from the cerebellum and downward into the spine. Arsenicum. Restlessness arises from the mental, emotional plane. Veratrum is also very hyperactive, but from an overactive mind. The restless hands are often put to creative use, as in painting, which involves color as well. Impatient with slowness in other people. If someone is walking slowly on the street, the tarantula patient may become angry and urge the person to move along more quickly. The person begins to lose control and becomes destructive. Initially it is done in secret, hidden as much as possible from the knowledge of others. Fox-like cunning, and the fox-like look in the eyes, later becomes more uncontrolled and publicly evident, may tear his clothes or break things. Violence is directed at himself, self-injury, injury, banging the head, etc. On the one hand, there may be severe violence similar to stramonium, desire to strike and to kill, and destructive violence with superhuman strength and stamina. On the other hand, there is an erotic mania, sexual advances to other people, even to strangers like hyoscyamus. It is more of a passive shamelessness, rather than the active and aggressive. Physical generals. The nervous system in tarantula seems wound up tight like a coiled spring, tense with boundless energy which must be expended to prevent it from breaking. On the physical level, Tarantula is very much like arsenicum in its symptomatology and modalities on the physical level. There is chilliness and great emaciation. There is also periodicity and paroxysmal ailments. Head. Intense pain, as if thousands of needles were pricking into brain, once hair brushed or head rubbed. Heart. Palpitation, precordial anguish, sensation as if heart twisted and turned around. Male. Sexual excitement, lasciviousness reaching almost to insanity. Seminal emissions. Female. Vulva dry and hot, with much itching. Profuse menstruation, with frequent erotic spasms. Pruritus vulvae, nymphomania. Dysmenorrhea, with very sensitive ovaries. Extremities. Weakness and numbness of legs, choreic movements. Multiple sclerosis, with trembling, twitching and jerking. Yawning with uneasiness of legs, must move them constantly. Extraordinary contractions and movements. Modalities. Worse. Motion, contract, noise, seeing others in trouble. Better. In open air, music, bright colors, rubbing affected parts. Relationship, compare, agaricus, arsenicum album, cuprum, magnesium phosphoricum. Antidotes, lachesis. Tarantula cubensis, a toxemic medicine, septic conditions, adapted to the most severe types of inflammation and pain, early and persistent prostration, malignant suppuration, remedy for pain of death, soothes the last struggles, intermittent septic chills, bubonic plague, as a curative and preventive remedy especially during the period of invasion. Sleep, drowsiness, sleep restless, sleep prevented by harsh cough. Relationship, compare, arsenicum album, pyrogen, crotalus, echinacea, anthracinum, belladonna, apis mellifica. Modalities, better, smoking, worse, night. Head. Dizziness after heat and hot perspiration, shooting pain through left eye across frontal region, gastric, loss of appetite, except for breakfast, back, itches across kidney region, urinary, retention, cannot hold urine on coughing, skin, red spots and pimples, feels puffed all over, carbuncles, burning, stinging pains, purplish hue, gangrene, abscesses, where pain and inflammation predominate, pruritus, especially about genitals, cirrus of breasts, senile, ulcers. Theridion curasivicium, it is tubercular miasm, highly sensitive nervous system and prominent features such as hyperactivity, sexuality, colors, music, dancing and high energy, intense aggravation from noise, nausea from noise, strong craving for bananas and oranges, nervous hyperesthesia, sensitive to noise, it penetrates the body, especially teeth. Noises seem to strike on painful spots over the body. Rachitis, caries, necrosis. Mind. Hurried and hectic activity, time passes too quickly, fruitlessly busy, intense restless, finds pleasure in nothing. Theridion woman seems to be the need to find a mate, because she feels that if she doesn't have a mate, she will have to face the danger of the outside world, which is too threatening. So there is a need to be attractive and a lot of hectic activity to find, attract and keep her mate. Music, dancing and colors are a part of this attractiveness, whereas fear and impulsive violence are a part of the threat. Dissolve her identity into that of her partner, thinking and seeing as her partner does, living completely through the eyes and mind of this other person. Hence, in the event of her partner leaving her, she feels a tremendous emptiness, and it takes time for her to know her real self again. Theridion has the delusion that her head belongs to another. Fear of people, especially when they are alone. When approached by people they feel threatened and want to strike or kill, and they have to control themselves so that they do not. Head pain worse, anyone walking over floor, vertigo, with nausea and vomiting on least motion, tabicum, when closing eyes, luminous vibrations before eyes, sensitive to light, pressure behind eyeballs, throbbing over left eye, nose, discharge yellowish, thick, offensive, pulsatile, thuja, stomach, seasickness, stinging pain on left side over anterior aspect of spleen, back, sensitiveness between vertebrae, avoids pressure on spine. Respiratory, pain in upper left chest in left floating ribs, cardiac anxiety and pain, pinching in left pectoral muscle, cough, violent, jerking of the head forward and the knees upwards, and cough, jerking the body together, phthisis, stitch high up in left apex, anthraxinum, where the indicated remedy does not hold long. Skin, stinging thrusts everywhere, sensitive skin in thighs, itching sensations, modalities, worse, touch, pressure, on shipboard, riding in carriage, closing eyes, jar, noise, coitus, left side. Mygale Lasiodora, mind, delirious, restless, sad, fears death, despondent, face, twitching of facial muscles, mouth and eyes open in rapid succession, tongue dry and parched, put out with difficulty, head jerked to one side, grating of teeth at night. Stomach, aversion to food, excessive thirst, male, violent erections, chordy, camphor, extremities, unsteady gait, constant motion of whole body, tremulous, twitching of limbs, restless hands, limbs drag while walking, convulsive, uncontrollable movements of arms and legs, relationship, compare, agaricus, tarantula, cuprum, zizia, modalities, better, during sleep, worse, in morning. Aranirum tella, clinical, sleeplessness, cobweb has been used as a remedy from ancient times, rapidly lowers the frequency of the pulse rate, it produces a calm and delightful state of feeling, followed by a disposition to sleep. Remedy relationship, ledum pal, general antidote for spider group of remedies. Thank you.